Is the One-Wish Willow from Obsession inherently evil? Could we consider it a cursed object in the lore of horror films? Is anyone who purchases it doomed, or are there ways to properly use it? Hey guys, welcome back to Movies with Miya. My name is Miya and I am a film content creator who loves analyzing and making content around movies and cinema. Obsession took the world by storm when it dropped a few weeks ago on May 15th, 2026, breaking at the time of this video $100 million on only a $750,000 budget. The film has everything audiences are craving. Fresh actors and faces, no nepotism, a young director with exciting ideas and engaging short films on YouTube, and discourse that is blowing up the global internet. The One-Wish Willow is truly the catalyst of this story to disaster, as our protagonist, Bear, buys one for his crush Nikki, but ultimately uses it for himself out of desperation and frustration due to his inability to express his feelings towards her.
I wish Nikki Freeman loved me more than anyone in the entire world.
After he snaps the willow in half, his fate is sealed. Or is it? To assess whether or not this object is actually cursed or if it's user dependent, we must go over the rules and warnings. Number 1, unbox. Open the package to hear a magical jingle. Number 2, spark. Light or spark the middle of the willow. Now, I actually don't really see this step when Bear does it, but it's technically in the directions, so I'm including it. Number 3, snap. Break the willow in half while stating your specific wish out loud. And lastly, wait. Allow up to 24 hours for your wish to manifest.
A love only the branch of a willow tree could conjure.
It seems simple, right? You might change your mind though after hearing the warnings. The first warning is one per person. You can only ever use one One-Wish Willow in your lifetime. Number 2, forbidden wishes. You cannot wish for time manipulation, resurrection, immortality, or the creation of more One-Wish Willows. Number 3, irreversible. Once made, the wish cannot be undone, altered, or reversed unless someone else uses their willow to counter it. And lastly, wish responsibly. Wishes are heavily prone to misinterpretation, so you must be incredibly specific with your wording to avoid unintended consequences. In order to determine if the One-Wish Willow is truly evil or if it's user error, let's highlight how Bear words his wish verbatim. He says, "I wish Nikki Freeman loved me more than anyone in the entire world." Yikes.
Jeez, what kind of spells you put on her?
Now, 26-year-old director Curry Barker has said in interviews and press that while the One-Wish Willow isn't designed to be inherently evil, humans by nature are selfish, and it's the human desire behind the wish that can cause chaos and harm, not the wish item itself. Where else have we seen this in storytelling? Some classic examples of this tale include The Monkey's Paw by W.W. Jacobs, probably one of the most, if not the most, famous story surrounding wish-making. The Monkey's Paw follows the White family. They acquire a cursed monkey's paw that grants them 3 wishes, and each wish is granted with a horrifying twist, thus demonstrating the deadly consequences of greed and tampering with destiny. In part 1, a visiting friend, Sergeant Major Morris, shows the White family a mummified monkey's paw. As I stated earlier, it will grant 3 wishes, but he warns them that meddling with fate will bring sorrow. Disregarding this warning, of course, Mr. White playfully wishes for paying off his mortgage, and immediately the paw twists in his hand. The next day, their son Herbert is tragically killed in a machine accident at his factory. And to compensate for Herbert's death, the company awards the grieving parents exactly, granting their wish, but at a terrible price. Consumed by grief, Mrs. White begs her terrified husband to use the paw's second wish to bring Herbert back to life. He makes the wish, and shortly after, a loud, frantic knocking begins at the front door. And since they believe that this is their horribly mangled son who has returned from the dead, Mrs. White desperately tries to open the locked door. Terrified of what is outside, Mr. White finds the paw and makes the 3rd wish just as she opens the door. The knocking instantly stops, and Mrs. White opens the door to an empty road. Other examples of wish-making media include the story of King Midas, which is based from Greek mythology, Wishmaster from 1997, Bruce Almighty from 2003, The Craft from 1996, and Aladdin, both in 1992 and 2019 versions. But let's go back to Obsession. Where did Bear's wish go wrong? Bear was desperate, and we know desperation never ever leads to good outcomes. I think we can argue Bear was kind of already in a bad place mentally and emotionally at the beginning of the film, not to mention as the film continues, he proves he has no care for Nikki's autonomy, even though the wish has gone wrong, so to speak. The verbiage of his wish was aggressive, extreme, and opened the door to obsession instead of love. And finally, his wish stripped Nikki of her autonomy, programming her to forcibly love Bear instead of choosing her own feelings and choices. Now, for the sake of argument, let's look at Bear's bestie, Ian, who, in my humble opinion, is an awful friend, but that's another video for another day. Ian, towards the end of the film, wishes for $1 billion and follows the instructions of the One-Wish Willow the same way Bear did. Though he doesn't really get to live his wish since Nikki kills him, but he wished for money, which is not inherently an evil thing. How it's used, however, could be morally bad or good, so to speak. The verbiage of his wish was somewhat sarcastic, but it was technically clear and to the point. And finally, his wish only directly affected him, not someone else. We can't know for sure in this universe who would use the One-Wish Willow and who wouldn't, but for the sake of analysis, I want to compare and contrast people who I think would be more drawn to this behavior, aka wishmakers, we will call them, and those who would avoid it or wouldn't entertain it, aka non-wish makers. Nikki is our example of a non-wish maker, and Bear is an example of a wish maker. Now, I'm kind of guessing here, but someone like Nikki to me doesn't strike me as a person who would use a One-Wish Willow. In the film, we see she's caring, funny, very confident, and sure of herself. She's got goals and dreams. Sure, anyone could benefit from having a magical wish that gives them anything they want in life in theory, but would someone like Nikki be drawn to it? My hunch is inherently no. Bear, on the other hand, is insecure. He is unable to process his emotions healthily, he's hyper-focused on what he can't have, he's timid, and frankly a bit lost. Someone who feels vulnerable, full of grief, confused, or even desperate might be more drawn to make a wish to try to turn their life around or give themselves another chance, and are also less likely to read the rules carefully on the wish box. I think films like this, where our characters and instant gratification collide chaotically, bring up the archaic question of human selfishness. Are we wired to be greedy and self-serving, or are we capable of empathy and generosity if left to our own devices? I think that we can agree we are hardwired for both empathy and self-interest. Obsession explores this question through the guise of, if you had an opportunity to change your life, how would you use it and why? Curry Barker does a masterful job of creating complicated characters that make human choices, and that can be as extreme as Bear ruining his life and the lives of those around him, or as simple as Ian wishing for financial gain even though he is a debatably crappy friend and bestie to Bear. The more I sit with this film, and by the time you're hearing this, I've seen the film twice, the more I think this question becomes not if humans are inherently selfish, but what are the circumstances that would lead someone to making a choice like Bear did? And are we all just centimeters from making a choice like that if given the opportunity to do so?
What are you wishing for? Make your wish come true with the One-Wish Willow.
I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like what you saw and heard, please leave a comment, like, and subscribe. It would truly mean the world to me. Thank you so much for 1,000 subscribers, by the way. I just hit 1K, and I'm so excited to keep growing this channel and putting more long-form videos on my YouTube and shorter stuff on my TikTok. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.
I was calling to see if there's a way I can cancel a wish.
I'm sorry, we don't really